This evening, let's explore Dragpa's Invocation, and then let's meditate. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. Brought to you by the good-hearted folks who help support this channel on Patreon. This evening, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Good news. If at any point during this evening's live stream you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. So, I'm going to start with a bit of context. The portion of the sadhana that I'm referring to is a different sadhana. It's in Tibet, it would be known in English as the spontaneous fulfillment of wishes. In America, we might describe it as effortless manifesting, which sounds tantalizing, does it not? So a key part of that is a prayer to Gyatso. So an elective for that would be Gyatso Dragpa Gyatso's prayer to Tada for the fulfillment of prayer to Gyatso Tada for the fulfillment of wishes. It begins with an invocation. That's what we're going to explore this evening. It's my intention tomorrow morning to explore the increase and then the pacification. So we read, "Noble and compassionate Tada, we pray to you. May I and all sentient beings, infinite number." And you can just insert an ellipse there if you wanted. So I did. So this divides into two couplets. "Noble and compassionate Tada, we pray to you." Now this is poetic license. Because if Tada is merely an archetype of an archetype of enlightenment, then an archetype is its only power is to symbolize, to make the intangible tangible, and to symbolize compassion that is spontaneous and uncontrived, and that leads to very skillful choices and utterances and deeds. What we're really doing is we're using words to set intentions that are extraordinarily positive. Now, you might say, what's the big deal? I'll tell you. If we treat an archetype as a real entity, we run the very big risk of falling into a trap that was described by Paul the Apostle in the Christian New Testament, and a portion of it known as 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We have a choice. We can work with vertical devotion to a parental figure or horizontal love that sees all living beings as our peers and worthy of nurture and empathy. There are two different neurological mechanisms. Children, especially mammalian children, are wired for vertical devotion. It keeps them close to their primary caregiver. What's the benefit of that? Well, number one, since they're mammals, that means milk on tap. And number two, it means protection from predators, or at least relative protection from predators. However, mammalian children do not remain mammalian children. They continue to mature until they hit puberty, and everything changes. Neurologically, it is as if a switch has been thrown. And instead of relying on vertical devotion to the parental figure that transmutes into a horizontal empathy for all the members of their herd or tribe or pack. You get the idea. So it's important for us as humans, all grown up and haired over, that we don't fall into the trap of being 5-foot tall children, forever clinging to the apron strings of a real or imagined parental figure, for that will stymie both our wisdom and our love. Instead, we want to treat an archetype as an archetype to inspire not worshipful devotion, but empathy and love and wisdom and insight. So if it seems like we're getting right to the edge and flirting with it, you're exactly right. We come now to the second half, the second couplet. May I and all sentient beings, infinite in number, followed by a magical ellipse. So what this is reminding us, let's put this on Do Not Disturb. Molto bene. We come to the second couplet. May I and all sentient beings infinite number. So, what I was taught by my Tibetan teachers was that the key to Buddhist love and compassion is to take our selfish desires and transform them into universal wishes. Let's make that specific. Let's pretend I wished for circumstantial safety. Well, if I use that to gain a purchase and say, well, I really want safety, but you know what? Everyone wants safety. So therefore, I'm going to wish for universal safety for all beings of all worlds, real or imagined, in the most wonderful way. That I'm not a magician, neither are you. We aren't Gandalf the Grey. We aren't Galadriel the Golden. But simply by playing with words, it guides our intention. And that has a profound effect, literally, on the structure of our brain. So, remember, when we are working with positive intentions, it is not as if we are sitting in Santi's lap in a December of decades gone by, wishing for a pony and a bicycle. We are training the neurological pathways that are essential for us to be the peaceful, loving, happy person that each of us already desires to be. At this point, what I would like to do is tap button 9 and take you to the latest iteration of a practice text or sadhana, if you're fancy. That is inspired by an ancient text composed by the Tibetan saint Tengtong Gyalpo. Its title is All-Pervading Benefit of Beings, which sounds very loving, doesn't it? Now, I've adapted it and amplified it in a way to make it more meaningful, and I hope you will enjoy it. Let's begin by training the neural pathways and exercising the neural pathways that are responsible for empathy and enthusiasm. Together. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. So this is great. Our mind is still tumultuous with all the slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune. And so what we're going to do is take that swirling cauldron of a mind and play with it. We're going to relax into the nature of mind, which serves as an antidote to clinging and is known by many names, such as Trekcho or Slice Through. Despite the grandiosity of its name, the technique is very simple. As we inhale, we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. For every inhalation is already wired to grant us automatic access to our sympathetic nervous system, which has evolved not to actively concentrate, but instead to merely perceive, and to do so vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. We are wired to notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like. We're wired to emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. We could notice the external, the internal, the physical, the mental, the pleasurable, the painful, the interesting, the boring, the glorious, and the grotesque. This, of course, begs the question, what are we going to do with all the stuff that we notice? Glad you asked. The optimal form of meditation is to silently and mentally recite the word yes during each exhalation, for each exhalation is already wired to grant us automatic access to our parasympathetic nervous system, which is evolved for physical relaxation as well as mental release. So I don't know if you remember this, but there used to be a commercial for a gym. I think it was called Health Planet or Fitness Planet or Planet Fitness. And there was a guy who was just built like a brick shit house, but wasn't so smart. And all he could say in English with a thick Austrian accent was, "I picked things up and I put it down." Of course, that wasn't an Austrian accent. But that's all we're doing is meditation. We are allowing as we breathe in, we are allowing our central nervous system to notice stuff. As we exhale, we are allowing our central nervous system to release stuff. Releasing doesn't mean that yucky stuff stops existing. It simply means that we are making peace with it. And we are taking a break from the lifelong habit of living in perpetual resistance. Don't see any questions, so let's dig in. So we're going to contemplate impermanence and interdependence. We're going to do so through a series of 4 sets of contemplations that are going to implement metaphors and rhetorical questions. During the inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the first half of the rhetorical question, and during the exhalation, we silently and mentally recite the second half of the rhetorical question. Let's continue relaxing into the nature of mind. Welcome to this evening's live stream. If at any point you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Let us contemplate love and letting go. Contemplating love and letting go serves as antidotes to hating and are known by many names, such as tokal or leap over. Together. May all minds of all beings know be as wise and peaceful as the mind of a Buddha of law such as green Tara. Symbolized by a one-syllable seed bija mantra such as Tam or Clay drop. We're going to take that exact same intention, shrink it down to just 6 syllables, silently and mentally reciting the first half during the inhalation and the second half during the exhalation. No, it's not our job to visualize or emote or believe. If all we do is silently and mentally play with these words, in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation and our relaxation, we will make progress on the path. Oopsie. Whoops, I forgot some. Please bear with me. Together. May all relationships of all beings know be as loving and joyful as a real or imagined Buddha's communication symbolized by this 10-syllable mantra. May all bodies of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health depicted in Buddhist thought of the blissful body of a yidam of lore and archetype of enlightenment such as green Tara. May all circumstances or lots of all beings don't have this safety, good fortune, or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, spirit land, or Vati. Now we're going to switch gears, and we're going to use letting go as a tool to leap over our clinging tendencies. But first we're going to review what is meant by emptiness. If we relax into our exhalation, whatever we notice during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a beautiful cloudless morn, which although compelling to the eye is not graspable to the hand. How is it that as we inhale all circumstances or lots could appear quite vivid, yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined paradise or Vati of light? How is it that as we inhale all bodies or forms could feel quite sensual, yet as we relax into our exhalation they could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined octopoiedom of light? How is it that as we inhale the interpersonal experience of communication or speech could be quite resounding, yet as we relax into our exhalation it could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined mantra of light? How is it that as we inhale we could perceive all mind's perceptions, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings quite clearly? Yet as we relax into our exhalation they could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined syllable tom of light. Now let us relax into the nature of sound as we chant the 10-syllable mantra. Om Dare Dare Dure Swaha 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 Om tare du da de du re swaha. 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 One moment, quick edit. Do bear with me. All right. We've relaxed into the nature of mind. We've relaxed into the nature of sound. Now let us relax into the nature of sensation, which serves as an antidote to craving and is known by many names such as tikle or drop. If you've just joined us, good evening. If you have any questions about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply it to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. on the right-hand side of the screen. But you know, I think we're doing really good on time, so I'd like to do some more chanting if you don't mind. Om Dhare Dhare Swaha 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 Om Dhare Dhare Swaha. And now it's time for a bit of the old, relaxing into the nature of sensation. As we inhale, we could silently and mentally recite the perceptual verb feel. And as we exhale and relax, we could silently and mentally recite the syllable tom. And now we return to relaxing into the nature of mind. We come now to effortless manifesting. The first quarter brings us to the invocation of the archetype of dynamic kindness. May light rays radiate from the syllable tongue on my heart, inviting shamatata surrounded by the assembly of lamas, yetams, condors, buddhas, bodhisattvas, and dharmapalas. Gods and demigods bow their crowns at your lotus feet. O liberator from all misfortune, to you, Mother Tara, I bow down. Homage to the noble Lady Tara. Homage to Tara, swift and gallant, his glance flashes like flares of lightning. Born on the heart of a blossoming lotus that arose from the tears of the triple world's Lord. Amasha, whose countenance is like 100 full moons gathered in autumn, smiling and glowing with brilliant radiance like 1,000 stars clustered ablaze. Homage, golden lady, whose lotus hand is graced with a blue water-born flower, embodying generosity, diligence, endurance, serenity, patience, and meditation. Homage, whose victories are endless, jewel adorning the great Tathagata's crown. She is well served by the heirs of the victors who have accomplished all the perfections. Homage, who will to Tade and who fill the desire realms into the ends of space. She tramples underfoot the 7 wolves and has the strength to summon all. Homage, who praised by Indra, Agni, Brahma, Marus, and Shiva. Buddhas, Vetalas, Gandharvas, and Yakshas pay tribute to her. Homage, who with three and pay crushing enemies yantras, with red leg drawn in and left extended, she treads amidst flames wildly blazing. Homage, who with to raid this fearsome lady destroys the most powerful demons. With a deep furrow power upon her lotus face, she is the slayer of each and every foe. Homage, whose fingers grace her heart, displaying the mudra of the 3 jewels. Graced by your wheel, adorning every direction with a dazzling radiance that overwhelms all. Homage to her supreme joy, like a radiant garland that crowns her in splendor. Smiling and laughing with Tutare, she brings demons in the world under control. Homage, who can summon the host of earthly guardians. Her frown quivers. Her frown quivers in the smile, whom delivers us from every misfortune. Homage, who so brightly adorned with a sliver of moon as her crown. Amitabha graces her locks, his gleaming rays streaming forever forth. Homage, her seated in a halo blazing with apocalyptic flames, her right leg extended and left drawn in. Immersed in joy, she crushes legions of foes. Homage, her who on the earth's surface strikes her palm and stomps her feet. Her brow deeply furrowed, with whom she fills the 7 nether worlds. Homage, her blissful, gracious domain, the peace of nirvana. With Om and Swaha in perfect union, she lays waste to every terrible evil. Homage, her who immersed in rapture shatters the bodies of all her foes. She manifests with a wisdom suitable, whom displaying each of her mantras 10 syllables. Homage to formed from the seeds of the whom her feet stomping boldly. She causes to quake the supreme mountain Mandara and the three worlds. Amasha, her who holds in her hand a dear marked moon like a divine lake. With Tara twice and then with Pei, she totally cleanses all of the poisons. Amasha, who is served by the kings of hosts of Han and Gimnaras. Suited in armor of joy and splendor, she dispels all the nightmares and soothes away strife. Amasha, whose eyes shine with luster bright with the fullness of sun and moon. With twice a Tutara and Tutare, she pacifies the most intractable diseases. Amasha, who has the power to free, she pours forth the realities as a set of three. Supreme today, she completely destroys the hordes of Grahas, Vetalas, and Yakshas. This phrase with the 21 verses of homage is itself the root mantra. Om Amasha, the noble lady Tara, Amasha Tara, quick one heroine. With Tutare, you are the one who banishes all fear. With Ture, the liberator who bestows all benefits, and with Swaha, may it be so. Come to the second quarter. The second quarter's 5 well wishes. May all minds, speech, forms, and lots be as wise, loving, healthy, and fortunate as great heroines, real or imagined, suitable mantra archetype in paradise. May all beings like green heroine master the eightfold path as well as liberate others. May all beings practice of kind communication, contact, and calmness for spontaneous and uncontrived. At the very end of each being's life, may they take immediate and auspicious rebirth. Master the Buddhist path and then help all others do likewise. May everyone be free from misery, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. The third quarter brings us to Tata's wind horse, or Drolma Nungta. O Queen of Space, Savior of all beings, perfectly pure essence of wind that pervades all. You give birth to all worlds and cause them to flourish, noble Lady Tata, I pay homage to you. Lady whose face gleams as white as the autumn moon by pacifying all adversity and affliction, and spontaneously bringing favorable conditions and fulfilling wishes. Generate the windows of dissolving the 8 dangers into space. Lady who shines as brightly as the golden sun by eliminating all decadence and poverty, and increasing lifespan, merit, wealth, and renown. Generate the windows of expanding prosperity and fortune. Lady who blazes with the luster of red rubies while dispelling all dependency and misfortune, and bringing the whole apparent world under my control. Generate the windows of magnetizing the triple world. Lady who sparkles with blue sapphire brilliance by repelling all enemies, obstacles, and harm, and granting total victory over all danger and adversity. Generate the windows of overpowering demonic horns. Lady who beams with emerald green light by pacifying all unwanted circumstances, and accomplishing our aims with auspicious glory. Generate the windows of acting on a space-like scale. We conclude with the Dharani of interdependence. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun te shantata kato yavatat. Te shansayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramana swaha. All phenomena originate from causes. The Tathagata has taught of these causes. And also that which puts a stop to these causes. This too has been taught by the great yogi. If you feel that I have earned it, you could type something in the chat window. You could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could share it with a friend. You could even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 10.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.